We're going to begin with a bolster behind the back close to the tailbone, and then you're going to allow your spine to just soften down into it. Arms extend out wide, palms face up, and the shoulder blades can tuck underneath you. And then if you'd like, you can have the soles of the feet together. You're certainly welcome to take a block and place the block underneath the knees if you want some support, just to hold the legs up. Otherwise, if it's comfortable and you don't need the blocks, leave them to the side. And if your chin is really sticking up from an excessive thoracic curve, you can place a blanket underneath your head, either flat or a little bit more bulky, to make sure that the chin is in alignment with the sternum. And then just settle here into this position. And we're going to begin with the hands on the abdomen. Just feel the fingertips touching one another, and for a few moments just really work that diaphragmatic breath. So on your inhale, allow your belly to swell, and on the exhale, feel the navel draw back to the spine. So as the breath comes in, moves down the lungs, diaphragm descends, the belly expands. And then as you exhale, navel hugs back towards the spine, and the belly softens, fingertips come closer together. Inhale, belly expands, fingertips widen apart. And continuing this on your own, exhaling and inhaling. Just getting in touch with the breath inside the body. There's something very peaceful and calming about that tactile sensation. And when we live in a world that's very much focused on the mind, it's nice to have some techniques to get us back into the body. And the body is the most dense layer of our experience. In the kosha model, we find the Annamaya kosha, called the food sheath, and the majority of what makes up this dense body is the foods that we take in. So as we're mindful about foods that are easy for us to digest, and we'll have less ama, less toxins in the system. And also things we need to do just simply for self-care of this body. Like we brush our teeth every morning, we floss, right? We shower, we care for the body. But even some of the Ayurvedic principles of oil massages, particularly in the fall when the air gets very dry. Gandusha, which is the oil pulling in the mouth, where you swish oil around for a while and spit it out and pulls the toxins out of the mouth. Tongue scraping with a Ayurvedic stainless steel or copper tongue scraper. And all of these self-care techniques help to keep the body free from aches and pains and discomfort. And then bring your hands up into your rib cage now. And as you breathe into your belly first, feel the belly swell, and now feel the ribs separate as breath widens them. Fingers again are going to pull apart. And then as you exhale, you draw the navel towards the spine, the rib cage closer together, and the fingertips come to touch again. So inhaling, belly swells, rib cage widens, fingers separate. Exhale, belly sinks towards the spine, rib cage comes closer together, and fingers draw back in. A few rounds of this two-part breath. And after we get from that most dense layer of our being, the physical body, and make sure that that's in a healthy state, the next layer we encounter in the kosha model is pranamaya kosha, which is the energy or breath body. You can feel here as you breathe in how the ribs skillfully separate and widen to allow maximum capacity to fill the lungs. And then these two, as you exhale, the associated muscles help to contract. You'll feel how the lungs draw together to assist pushing the breath out. So the pranamaya kosha is very much the breath body, but also what rides on the breath is prana, or energy. And we can bring more energy into the body through a deeper and more concentrated breath. We can build the energy, sustain it during a retention. And we can use the breath also as a tool to release, like our Kapalabhati breath, where we're doing the short, forceful exhales to help clean and cleanse the body. So the Annamaya kosha and Pranamaya kosha are very closely tied. And just one more here, breathing into belly, then ribs, exhaling belly, then ribs. And you can check in with your energy body and see if this conscious breathing has improved the quality of the energy just in these few moments that we've been doing it. The last part we're going to move our hands is to our chest or our heart. And then on the inhale, you're going to swell the belly, rib cage widens, and notice the chest expanding. And of course, we have the bolster, so we won't feel it quite as much. It's already in an expanded state. And then as you exhale, contract the abdomen, rib cage comes closer together, and the chest softens. Once again, the fingers will touch. Now, feeling that breath all the way from the belly through the rib cage up into the chest, notice the experience of what it feels like to really widen the collarbones, spread open the chest, and lift the sternum. We get that full expression of the breath. And what's a very beautiful correlation is this connection between the mind and the breath. And when we have a healthy body, the breath can flow freely. When the breath is flowing in a specific pattern, we find that it has a very specific effect on the mind. And vice versa, the mind informs the breath. So if we're in a state of anxiety or distress, we see that expressed through a very shallow breath, often mostly in the chest. And if we're in a calm state of mind, relaxed state, we tend to have that full breath, more concentrated in the abdomen or belly breathing. So as yogis, we learn too that we can change the breath to change the mind. And through our breathing techniques and practice, we begin to have more control over the mental state. So one more full breath here. You'll swell the belly, the ribs, chest, and exhale belly, ribs, chest. And then when you finish, just release your arms out wide again. Let the arms grow heavy and relaxed, but continue the breathing pattern we just worked. And so those first three layers of the koshas, those first three layers of our experience, from dense to more subtle, the mind, are really what we're trying to stabilize in our practice of yoga. And we understand that if we can get these into a state of health and stability, then we have the ability to go deeper into the last two layers, Vijnanamaya kosha, which is the discerning mind. We can make wise decisions, listening to our intuition and a guidance from within, as well as the final layer, Anandamaya kosha, the bliss sheath, where we feel like we're in a state of being continually glad or joyful or at peace at least. Now, for these last 3 breaths, can you just bring in a soft ujjayi, that ocean wave or whisper type sound to the breath? And sense that the inhale and exhale are even. You can count the breath if you need to. Otherwise, just get a feeling of it. And then while you even out the breath, eliminate any holds or catches at any holds at the top of the breath or the bottom of the breath. So the inhale flows right into the exhale, flows right into the inhale. That smooth pattern of breathing creates a smooth quality to the mind. And we'll do 2 more here, please. Very nice. And then when you finish, bring your hands together into prayer at the heart or Anjali Mudra. Thumbs touch the sternum. And you can bow your head to your hands so it feels like you're in that deep reverence. And from this place, we're going to set the intention for the practice to work through these layers, specifically stabilizing, cleansing, and purifying the body, increasing the energy, the prana, and creating a calm, still mind, so that we can maybe tap into some of those deeper areas of concentration and discernment in the higher mind and ultimately in the intelligence within us. So if there's anything you want to add to that intention, or if there's actually one of those layers that feels like you might want to give a little extra attention to, please state that mentally now. And then place this here in the heart. Surround it with loving kindness. And gently bring your hands to the outsides of your knees and guide the knees towards the center. And then we're going to roll off our bolster onto our right side, arm under the head as a pillow, and just settle here for a moment. Feel that the spine is adjusting back to that neutral position. And then you can use your top hand or your left hand to move the bolster and the blanket out of the way or any blocks that might be there. We're going to come back onto our back. Feet flat, knees bent, arms down by the side, and feet are hip distance apart. As you press into the earth, you're going to slowly roll up 1 vertebrae at a time, rolling up towards the upper back, and then exhale. Take your time to roll each bone back down, lengthening the tailbone towards the heels. Repeat that again. Inhale, roll up through the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time. Breath moves from belly through ribs to chest, and exhale as you come down, belly, then ribs, then chest. And we're going to continue that smooth breathing we were doing. So even inhale, even exhale, rolling up and down, and eliminating any desire or need or craving to pause at either the top or the bottom. Because even those pauses are a condition of the mind. Good. We're going to do 3 more, adding in the arms. So as you inhale, rolling up through the spine, the arms reach up and over the head. And exhale, rolling down the spine, arms come back down. And again, here we are linking the body with the movement of the breath to create that stable mind. Last one. Now, leaving your arms down by your side, roll back up into bridge one more time. And this time we're going to stay and we're going to hold that steady. So one shoulder goes under you and then the other. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Keep a little lift in the chin, so we're not going to just press the back of the cervical spine into the mat. Anchor deeply into both feet. And then feel the spine moving up towards the heavens, tailbone absorbing in. And even think of the tailbone lengthening a little further towards the knees. So creating some room there in the lower back. And notice as we hold the posture, we begin to actually confront the mind. Those static postures, when there's no movement to focus on, makes us very aware of the thoughts. And use that as an opportunity to learn about the thoughts within your own mind. And then release your shoulders, rise onto the balls of the feet, and once again, we're going to slowly roll the spine down. Take your time, lengthen the tailbone towards the heels, and then knees into chest. Rock just a little bit from side to side, loosening the back. And once again, we're going to bring the arms down by our side. Inhale, we're going to take the legs straight up in the air, flex the feet, arms reach up and over the head. And then exhale, bring the knees to the chest, arms down by your side. Now just bring the right arm over your head as you lift the left leg, sole of the foot faces the ceiling. And then exhale, bring the arm down and bring that leg down. And then straighten the right leg and bring the left arm up and over the head. And exhale and come down. Now both legs, both arms, inhale. Reach through the soles of the feet, exhale, knees to chest, arms by your side. Now inhale the right arm up and over the head, left leg. Keep the arm over the head and point the toes. Exhale, flex the foot. Or rather, that's an inhale. And then exhale, bring the arm and the knee down. Let's do the other side. Inhale, the right leg lifts up. Now exhale, point the toes. Inhale, flex the foot. And exhale, arm and leg come down. Both legs are going to reach up, both arms, inhale. And exhale, point the toes. Inhale, flex the feet. And exhale, arms by your side. Inhale, both legs up. Exhale, point the toes. Inhale, flex the feet. And exhale, arms down by your side. And then bring the feet to the floor. Widen them for a moment. Let the knees fall into one another. And just rest. So if there's any agitation in the mind from having to concentrate on those various movements, remember, these are all techniques to bring the mind to focus. Very helpful for our minds, especially in a distracted state. So hands underneath the knees, roll all the way up into seated. Sit with that tall spine, relaxed body, and you can move the flesh from the sit bones. Inhale, reach both arms up and over the head. And now exhale, just take the right hand down and lean to the right side, pressing the left hip away from the fingertips. If you've got the flexibility, you can keep going, moving to that forearm as long as the left hip stays anchored to the floor. Breathe here now, extending that whole left side body. You can feel the work that we did in the rib cage and in the lungs, maybe deepening that a bit here. Notice where the tension's being held. Keep softening. One more breath. I'm going to lift up with the left arm, inhaling all the way back up, and then hold on to the right knee. And then fold that elbow into the lap and take the right arm up and over the head. So we're just moving into a slight open twist and a slightly different variation of a lateral. Good. Grabbing that knee, begin to pull the heart open just a little more to the right. One more breath. And then inhale, rise up again. And just take a moment to unwind and feel the body just soften. Inhale, both arms reach up. Now the left hand's going to come down. And we're going to float over to that left side. Press the right hip away from the fingertips. Pinky finger rotates slightly towards the floor. Head of the shoulders down into its socket. Breathe here. And if you've got that flexibility, you can keep going towards the forearm. Breathe. Make sure the right hip doesn't come off the earth. Navel's rotating slightly to the right. Use your breath. Even inhale, even exhale. And especially if there's a lot of sensation, that tendency to want to hold the breath will come back in. Don't let that happen. One more breath here, softening. And then you're going to lift with that right arm, come all the way back up. And now the right hand's going to grab the left knee. Fold the right elbow into the lap and sweep the left arm up and over the head. Now navel's rotating to the left. Slightly different lateral twist here. Notice the difference between right side and left. So all of the musculature is surrounded by fascia. Fascia surrounds every single fiber within the muscle tissue. And the patterns in the fascia often get set from repetitive posture, repetitive motion. So when we unwind the fascia, we feel a sweet release. And some of the energy that was kind of stuck in the body from those bound patterns gets released. And inhale the left arm back up. And now feel that as you unwind and you sit back into that position, all that release through the physical body is just like everything relaxes and goes, ah. Nice. And then we're going to come into tabletop position. And we already did some undulations for the spine, so we won't stay here very long. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet press firmly into the floor. On your inhalation, lift the heart, and then exhale, pull the navel towards the spine, contract the abdomen, and come into child's pose. Walk the fingers as far forward as they'll go. Lift the inner palm and let the heart dip towards the floor. Good. Breathing deeply here. We're going to sweep the hands behind us into Yoga Mudra. And we're going to roll onto the crown of the head, lift the knuckles up and away, and pull the navel back towards the spine. So feel that little bit of pressure there on the crown of the head. Feel the stretch, beautiful stretch for the shoulders, upper back. Again, we're loosening or releasing some of the gripping that's there in the body. One more here. And then we're going to release back into that child's pose, extend the arms forward one more time. And come into puppy pose or half down dog. So toes are going to tuck underneath you, hips line up with the knee. That's a really important alignment principle. And you're going to walk your hands forward and bring your forehead into the mat. So this is like doing half down dog. But sometimes just this posture alone creates so much extension in the spine that it is very healing and very healthy. Feels very good for the body. Upper back is opening. Navel keeps contracting against the spine. Legs and feet are engaged. Breathe deeply here. Smooth, even breath. And then walk your hands back, and we're going to come into downward facing dog from tabletop. So once again, lift the heart, lift the sit bones, look up. And exhale, tuck the toes for downward facing dog. So similar to that half down dog, except here we have the legs straight, engaging them. Inner thighs are rolling in and back. So all that strength of the legs is really holding the weight of the body. And we're going to lift the tailbone up as high as we can, elongating the spine. And the spine will soften between the shoulders, but we got to roll the shoulder heads away from the ears and squeeze the inner elbows toward one another to really stabilize the upper back. And press down through the web of the index and thumb, but all the roots of the fingers, head and neck is relaxed. All that space and length in the spine, so helpful in healing. Smooth breath here. Eyes steady, mind steady. Last one. And come onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, look at the hands, step forward to the fingertips, and open your feet hip distance apart. Hang into your standing forward fold. You can have that micro bend in your knee if you'd like to take pressure off your lower back. And we're going to hold on to either elbow and just provide some traction here for the spine. So make sure that you're not sinking in your heels, but come forward a little bit in the balls of the feet. And then also make sure there's a pressure on the inner foot as well as the outer foot. Head and neck is heavy and relaxed. Breathe here. Keep surrendering and letting go on each exhale. Navel hugs the spine. And you can really feel like those arms are a weight. Taking that tension that likes to be there in the upper back, just melting it down through the arms, releasing, softening. Last one here. And then bring your hands to your hips, squeeze your elbows tight behind you, press into the feet, and slowly rise up to standing. And just find mountain pose for a moment. Arms by your side. You can roll the shoulders up and back a few times if you still need some loosening there. And then grow steady. So what's it like to cleanse and clean the body? How does that affect the breath? And how does it change the quality of the mind? And we're in a time right now where there's a lot of anxiety and questions and doubt, fear. So our tool right now is to get back into the body, to get back into something solid, going outside for a walk, some sort of movement, getting your feet on the ground. Do something with your hands instead of only your intellect. These things will remind us of our inner truth. One last breath. Okay, so at the front of your mats, hands together in front of the heart or feet hip distance, your choice. For Surya Namaskara A, just classic sun salutation. So inhale, the arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold navel to spine. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose. This time, hands are on the shins or floor, but reach the crown of the head away from tailbone. And then exhale, step back to plank position. So for the first round, bring your knees to the floor and squeeze your elbows tight into your side till your belly comes all the way down. And then inhale, elbows and shoulders pull back for cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. And 5 full breaths in down dog, returning to that even inhale, even exhale. And that smooth breath. So inhale, flowing right into the exhale, flowing right into the inhale. Keep surrendering the belly button under the rib cage on each exhale. Nice and steady here. Eyes are steady. Last breath. And then come onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, look at the hands and step or lightly hop forward. Inhaling to monkey pose, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up, arms reach. And then exhale, hands to the heart. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose. Hands on the shin or floor this time, crown away from tailbone. And then exhale, step back to plank position. Now this time, if you want, leave your knees lifted for chaturanga. Squeeze the elbows tight into your side. And then inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog, 5 full breaths. So all those alignment principles that we already worked. Keep that tailbone lifting up. Enjoy that feeling of symmetry, stability. One more breath here. And then come out of the balls of the feet, bend the knees, look at the hands, step or lightly hop your feet forward. Inhale to monkey pose and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up, arms reach. And exhale, hands to the heart. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position. Knees lowered or lifted, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale to downward facing dog, 5 breaths. So as we surrender that belly button under the rib cage at the bottom of each exhale, really continuing to connect to that inner core, that sense of being embodied. Eyes are steady. Smooth breathing. Keep relaxing to eliminate any catches in the breath. Two more. And come onto the balls of the feet. Bend the knees, look at the hands, step or lightly hop forward. Inhale to monkey pose with a flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up, arms reach. And exhale, hands to the heart. Bring your arms down by your side. You can stand in mountain pose. Feel for prana moving through the body. Again, body, annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, and the mind, manomaya kosha, all interconnected. All koshas are interconnected, but we find that we're experiencing most the body, the energy, and the mind. Okay, so still at the front of your mat, either big toes are touching, space between the heels or feet hip distance apart. Inhale, the arms are going to reach up. And then exhale, forward fold. So we're going to move into dynamic monkey pose. You can either do that with your hands on your shins and inhale your chest forward, creating that long straight spine. And then exhale, forward fold. Or if you prefer, fingertips in alignment with the toes. Inhale forward, flat back. Exhale, slide the palms back down as you forward fold. So either one is fine. Continue to go on. Inhale, you want to lighten the load on the hands. Use the spine more for the work. Exhale, navel in, fold. Good. Again, inhale. Smooth transitions. One more. Good. Step the right leg back just 2.5, 3 feet. Hands to the hips. Press into the feet and rise up to standing. So hips squared. Left hip back, right hip around. Place the hands onto the sacrum, palms face up. Inhale the right arm up in alignment with your ear. And exhale, come down just halfway. So just like that monkey pose, long, straight spine. Anchor into the feet. Inhale, rise back up. Good. Exhale, do it again. Come down just halfway. Press into the feet. Inhale, back up. Now we're going to go down to 3/4 of the way. So as you exhale, coming down 3/4 of the way, keep that long, straight spine, arm in alignment with the ear. Press into the feet, come up. Exhale, 3/4 of the way. Inhale up. And now this time we're going to go all the way down. So exhale all the way down. And that might just be 3/4 of the way for you. That's totally fine. And then inhale, arm in alignment with the ear, come back up. One more time, going all the way down. Exhale. Notice how the mind has to stay focused to maintain the balance. Inhale, flat back. And then exhale, step the back foot forward. Stand in mountain pose at the front of your mat. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, sink into chair. Stay for the inhale, lift the heart a little higher. Exhale, forward fold over the bent knees. Inhale, the arms behind you like wings. Exhale, just the arms come through. Inhale, lean back to chair. Steady your gaze. Exhale, contract your abdomen. Forward fold over the bent knees. Inhale, the arms behind you like wings. Exhale, just the arms come through. Inhale, lean back to chair. Steady your gaze. Exhale. Inhale. Keep going. Exhale. Arms come through. Inhale. 2 more like this, please. Try to smooth these transitions out. Smooth the breath. Last one. Now as you inhale back up to chair, we're going to stay for a moment, steady the gaze. Feel the weight back in your heels, toes should lift freely. 2 more breaths here, relax your shoulder heads down into their socket. Can you keep a steady breath even when the intensity builds? Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, arms by your side and just observe. Notice what's happening in the body, the breath, the mind. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, forward fold. So this time we're going to step the left leg back. So about 2.5, 3-foot stance, back toes angled towards the upper right corner of your mat. Hands to hips. Inhale, scoop up to standing. So again, here we want the hips to be squared to the front of the room, right hip pulling back, left hip around. Hands onto the sacrum, palms face up. Inhale the left arm up in alignment with the ear. Exhale, come down just to halfway. You need that little micro bend in your knee, please keep it. Flat spine, inhale, rise up. We're repeating that again. Exhale, you're just coming down, halfway. Squeeze the inner thighs as you inhale, rise up. Good, now we're going to come down again. Exhale. 3/4 of the way, yes. Inhale, rise up. Repeat it. Exhale, 3/4 of the way. Back heels anchored into the earth. Inhale up. Now the most challenging one, we're going to go all the way down. And if all the way down for you is 3/4 of the way, that's fine. Try to maintain that straight spine as long as you can. And then as you come back up, activate the upper back. Keep the arm in alignment with the ear as you rise. One more. Exhale all the way down. Inhale all the way back up. And then exhale, step forward, bring the arm down by your side, and just stand for a moment and feel prana moving through the body, mind steady, body steady. Easy breathing. Belly, ribs, chest, belly, ribs, chest. Okay. So step the right leg back and turn the left toes in. So you're only in about a 3.5, 4 foot stance max. And keep your hands onto your hips. Inhale your left arm up. Press the right hand into the hip and exhale, lean over to your right. And then inhale, stay here. Lengthen just a little further. Exhale, stay here. Navel hugs the back body. Inhale, rise up. Switch hands. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, lean over. Stay for the inhale. Keep pushing the hand into the hip. Elongate the spine. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, come up. Exhale the arm to your side and switch. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale. Press in. Stay for the inhale. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, come up. Exhale to hip. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, over. Inhale, stay. Get longer. Exhale. Inhale, rise. And exhale, hand to hip. Now we're going to go to stay. So inhale the left arm up. Exhale over to the right, and now we're going to stay. So anchor into the outside edges of both feet. Navel hugs the back body and rotate slightly to the left. Keep the head of your shoulder into its socket so that it doesn't feel like the shoulder's creeping up by the ear. Each inhale, can you expand through the left rib cage just a little bit more? Each exhale, can you stabilize the navel towards the spine? 2 more. Eyes are steady, mind is steady. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hand to hip. Let's take a breath here just to stabilize. Doesn't look like much on the outside, but when you do it with the breath, suddenly it becomes a much more challenging pose. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, lean to the left. And now we're going to stay and breathe and keep that anchoring into the feet so you feel a stable, steady foundation. Navel hugs the back body, rotates to the right. Right shoulder head sinks into its socket. Notice how the breath supports you. Each inhale, you grow longer. Each exhale, more stability. Heat rising, good sign of cleansing, purifying the physical form. And then inhale, come up. And exhale, hand to the hip. Good, heel toe the feet, back to center, and take a moment to rest. Okay, we'll do a vinyasa at the front of the mat just to wipe that slate clean. So either big toes touching space between the heels, or you can have the feet hip distance apart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, navel to spine. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose, flat back. And exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position, your choice. Knees lowered or lifted, chaturanga. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog, and exhale to down dog. And stay here for 5 full breaths. Again, really recognizing the feeling of symmetry in the body and how it really creates a peaceful mind. Okay, stepping the right foot forward to the fingertips. Spin your back foot flat. Line the front heel with the arch of the back, line the front heel with the heel of the back foot, but the back toes are angled. And then front knee bends. Inhale, arms forward and up, warrior one. And if you need any adjusting with the hips, if it helps to use your hands, take a moment to do that, just so you feel stable, and then arms in alignment with the ears. Good, so we're gonna get really steady here in warrior one. Anchor into the back heel. Feel the inner thigh of that leg rotating up. Think of the tailbone as drawing a straight line down to your heel. And once there's that really firm foundation, notice how the upper body feels lighter and more expansive. Gaze is steady at the horizon. Breathing deeply here. Integration of body and breath and mind. Can you return to that one-to-one breathing, smooth and even, no pauses? One last breath here. Now bring your hands to your heart and put weight forward into your front leg. Pivot on the ball of the back leg. And 1, 2, 3, we're going to step the left knee up. So just finding your balance there. Again, another great tool for stabilizing the mind is balance pose. And then right hand to the outside of that knee. Left arm opens up. And you can keep your gaze steady forward or take it to the side wall. Or take it behind you and look at your back hand. Whichever position you choose, hold steady, lift the pelvic floor. So as you feel that lift of the pelvic floor, lower belly pulls in and up, you grow just a little bit taller, navel rotating here. One more breath. And then exhale, bring the foot down, unwind, and rest. Good. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, monkey pose. Flat back, extend the spine. Exhale, stop or lightly hop back to plank position. Knees lowered or lifted, chaturanga. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Stabilize here with your 5 breaths. Okay, so left leg is going to come forward to the fingertips. Spin the back foot flat again, heel to heel, angled back toes. Front knee is bent. Inhale the arms forward and up as you come into warrior one. And if you need any adjustment in the hips, please take it. And then shoulder heads into their sockets. So really relax the shoulders. And as you have that firm foundation, you're pressing into the back heel. Thinking of that internal rotation of the upper thigh. Tailbone lengthening toward the heel. Then the navel lengthens. The heart opens just a little more. Shoulders stay soft. But arms are long. Gaze is steady. As I mentioned before, as we get into the static postures without the dynamic movement, we really confront some of the thoughts in the mind. So just observe. Two more, stay strong in those legs. Now bring the hands down to the center where the heart is. Pivot on the ball of the back foot for stability. 1, 2, 3. Right knee lifts. Use that core strength. Keep the knee lifted. Now this time, left hand reaches for the outside of the knee. Right arm opens up, and you're either gazing in front of you or taking your gaze to the side wall or over to the back hand. Breathing here. Again, mind has to get steady in a balanced pose.
Very nice. Slowly unwind, lower the leg down, and just find standing mountain pose. If you need to shake your feet out, that's fine. Take the time. Here at the front of your mats, have your feet hip distance apart or slightly wider. Hands at the heart, inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Now this time, turn your toes out, heels in. Inhale into squat, elbows on the insides of the legs. Press them apart, hands in prayer. Exhale, bring the hands down, toes back in, forward fold. Inhale, toes out, heels in. Come back into squat, elbows on the insides of the legs, hands in prayer, press them apart. And then exhale, hands to floor, turn your toes back in, forward fold. One more like this, toes out, heels in, inhale into squat, elbows press them apart. Exhale, hands to floor, toes back in. Inhale to monkey pose. Exhale, step back to plank position. Again, knees lowered or lifted for chaturanga. Inhaling into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Now this time we're going to bring the feet together so the toes touch, come on the balls of the feet, and reach the left leg up in the air. Exhale the right heel down. Inhale the left as high as you can. As you exhale, bend the knee, draw the heel to the glute. And then really think of absorbing the tailbone into the body, lifting the lower belly, and creating stability there for the lower back. Shoulders are steady as best as possible, equal pressure in the palms. 2 more breaths here. Good, lengthen and straighten that leg. Square the hip, send the knee into the chest and to the fingertips. Spin the back foot flat, nice long stance, heel to arch alignment. You're coming up through warrior 1 and open hip and shoulder to the right for warrior 2. So we're going to stay in warrior 2. Press the ball of the front foot forward, outside edge of the back foot anchors down, and then look out over the middle finger of the left hand, and you can either be at the fingertip or just beyond it. Breathe deeply here, holding the static posture, warrior 2. So challenge that front knee, go down into the hips. At the same time, there's that little lift in the pelvic floor so we're not just dropping weight into the body. Belly, ribs, chest, exhaling belly, ribs, chest. Keep relaxing your shoulders. Eyes steady, mind steady. One more. Hand onto the back thigh. Turn and look at the left palm. Reverse it. Straighten the leg. Elongate. Now reach over that front leg. So extend, extend, extend. Get as much length in your spine as you can. And then hand to shin, ankle, foot, or floor. Long triangle pose here. You can keep a micro bend in the knee if you need it. Right arm up in the air. And now anchor into the feet again. Press to the ball of the front foot. Outside edge of the back foot. Sternum reaches away from pubic bone. If you can't touch the floor, it's okay. Have your hand on the shin, the ankle, the foot, whatever's most comfortable for you. One more breath here. Look at the slight twist of the navel. And then the fingertips are going to come to the floor. Can you pivot on the ball of the back foot? High lunge position. So hips are now squared. Anchor into your right hand. Lift your left arm up and come into that stable twist. One more breath. Very nice. Then lower the hand back down, lower the right knee down, and if you want padding, you can flip your mat over. And we're going to take the left arm on the inside of the left leg, so shoulder goes underneath the thigh, hand reaches around and grabs the outside of the ankle. If you've got the flexibility, the right hand can grab the ankle as well, otherwise just leave the hand down for support. Now the right knee can stay on the floor unless you want to lift it up, make it just a little stronger. So you're tucking those back toes under and you're hugging the thigh towards the ceiling. Staying nice and deep here. Breathe, head and neck is relaxed. Smooth out that breath. Hug the left knee in towards your shoulder. And then lower that knee back down. Unwind. So hands on either side of the foot. Step back to downward facing dog. Take a moment to just feel. You can either be in down dog or that puppy pose that we tried before, or even child's pose if you feel you need a rest. And then feet together, balls of your feet. You're going to take the right leg up in the air. And exhale the left heel down. Inhale the right leg as high as you can. Bend the knee, draw the heel to the glute. So stabilize here. Tailbone absorbs in, lower belly lifts. Navel hugs the back body. Shoulders are even. Pressure in the hands, even. One more. And straighten that leg. Square the hip. Take the knee into your chest. Bring it all the way to the fingertips. Line the front heel with the arch of the back foot. Come up through Warrior One and open hip and shoulder to the left for Warrior Two. And again, you're pushing into the ball of the front foot, outside edge of the back foot. Nice, strong legs. Knee in alignment with the ankle, but not beyond it. Gaze over the middle finger of the right hand. Tailbone absorbs in, lower belly lifts. Stability in the spine. Nice extension there. And smooth breathing. Keep melting the tension out of the shoulders and sending it through the fingertips. Eyes are steady, gaze steady. Keeps the mind steady. One more. Now back hand to thigh, turn and look at the right palm. Reverse Warrior Two and then straighten the leg. And feel all that length from the toes to the fingertips. Now inhale, right arm up. You're gonna lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. So how long can you get through that torso? And then bring the hand down wherever it lands. Shin, ankle, foot, floor. Arm pressing into leg, leg pressing into arm. Extending those fingers in alignment with the shoulders. And really that navel rotating to the left helps to cue the chest to open even more. Breathe here. Again, we're in a long stance, so if you need that little micro bend in your knee, please take it. Full, complete breaths. We're purifying, cleansing the physical body, the Annamaya Kosha. We're pumping it with all that prana, pranamaya kosha, through the breath. And steadying the mind in the process. What a beautiful gift we've been given with this practice of yoga. Good. Fingertips come down to the floor. Pivot on the ball of the back foot for high lunge position. Anchor your left hand to the floor. Rotate the navel. Right arm lifts up, breathe here. A simple twist, yet we get so much space in the spine. Again, unwinding that fascia, the bound tissue. One more here. And then bring the hand down. If you need extra padding, flip your mat over. We're going to take the right arm underneath the leg. So shoulder goes under the thigh. Hand wraps around and grabs the ankle. If you've got the flexibility, left forearm can come down. Both hands can grab the ankle. And you can stay with the knee on the floor. Still is a nice deep opening for this hip. Otherwise, you want to go a little deeper, or stronger rather. You can tuck the back toes under and straighten that back leg, gaze at the back foot. Breathe here. Hug the muscle to the bone in the extended leg. Head and neck is relaxed. No strain in the face. Navel hugs the back body on exhalation. One more. And then gently unwind. Lower the left knee down. And this time we're going to flex the right foot and just sit back into that number 4 pose. Or sometimes we call this half splits, half Hanumanasana. Pull the pinky toe side of your foot back. And then we're going to sit back on your left heel. So you're just going to angle that foot a little bit. Sit back tall on the heel. Right leg extends forward. So you actually want the heel to go in between the pelvic bones. And you're sitting firmly on that heel. Now, if that's too much for your knee, that's fine. You can just sit in Virasana with the heel to the outside of your hip. And then we'll inhale the arms, reach up here. And exhale, lean forward on the inside of the leg slightly and hold on to either the shin, ankle, foot, or you can have your hands at the floor and breathe here. So if you can get some sort of a grip on your inhale, you're going to lean back with your chest. So it's going to feel like monkey pose, flat spine, chin in. And then exhale, you're going to melt just a little more deeply over the leg. Repeat that again. Inhale, lean back with the chest. Exhale, melt just a little more deeply over the leg. Inhale. And exhale to stay. Smooth breathing. Remember, no pauses at the top and bottom of the breath. One more here. And then gently walk your hands up. We're going to push our weight forward into that front leg. And then exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Tuck the back toes under and right leg comes back. Find that enjoyment in the symmetry. Left leg forward to the fingertips. Right knee down. We're going to tuck the back toes under. And again, extend the left leg forward just a little more. Have the right hip in alignment with the knee and come back into that number 4 pose or half splits on the other side. So to the best of your ability, straight spine, flex the toes. Just feel all that space along the back of the leg. One more here. Now you're going to sit back on the right heel. So you want to angle the toes just a little bit so that the heel goes right in between the pelvic bones. Flex your left foot, internal rotation of that leg. Inhale here, arms reach. And exhale, come forward. And again, you're either shin, ankle, foot, floor, whatever you can do. But if you can get that grip, you can do these little sthithis on your inhale. Pull your chest away from your thighs, straighten arms, straighten spine. Exhale, navel in, fold more deeply over the leg. Again, inhale, you're leaning back. Exhale with that room, finding more space. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lean back, and then we're going to stay. Good. So wherever you are at, just relax, head and neck soft, breathe here. Keep pulling the pinky toe side of this foot back. Last one. And then hands on the floor, slowly come back up. We're going to lean forward, step back to downward facing dog. Notice the quality of mind. And then both knees to the floor. Sit tall on your heels. Bring your hips to one side and come down onto your back. So knees into chest. Take a moment. Find a sense of stability. And bring the feet flat, knees bent. Once again, we're going to move into bridge. So similar to as we started, except this time we're going to go right into the static pose. So arms by your side, press equally into both feet. Roll up through your spine, one vertebrae at a time. And now shoulders go underneath you. Interlace your fingers behind your back. And if you get that tendency to want to push down into the cervical spine, reversing the curve, keep just a little lift of the chin there. That'll help to keep that natural curve. Breathe deeply here. If you're feeling stable and strong, press into your right leg and lift your left leg up in the air. And then you can switch, press into the left foot, reach the right leg up in the air. And then bring that foot down and reach as high as you can into the spine. Hold that steady, eyes steady, mind steady. And then come onto the balls of the feet. Slide the shoulders out from underneath you. And one vertebrae at a time, come back down. Again, if you'd like to have the feet a little wider than hip distance, knees fall into rest, please do so. Hands can just be on the abdomen, belly breathing. One more here. Good. Keeping the feet flat, knees bent, walking them back to hip distance apart. Press into the feet, roll up through the spine, and ideally slide a block underneath your sacrum on the tallest edge. If that doesn't work, that's okay. Middle or flat edge is fine, or no block at all, particularly if you're on your moon cycle. Palms face up, shoulder blades tuck underneath you. Extend the legs up into the air for modified Viparita Karani Mudra. Now with the legs up in the air, reach up through the balls of the feet, spread the toes, activate the legs. At the same time, keep the mind calm and cool, concentrated on the breath. Returning to that smooth breathing, 1 to 1.
And just feel the healing qualities of inverting. We're just taking pressure off the legs and the feet and flooding the heart and the brain with extra blood and oxygen. So reversing some of the density and even sending some of the waste material in the lower portion of the digestive tract to be eliminated by the sacred fire, burned up like fuel, releasing prana. Now, if you like, open your legs out wide and let gravity just take them. So no pressure here, no work of your own. The more relaxed you get, the more space you'll find. And keep a slight flex to the feet just for stability of the knees. And breathe here. And now rotating the right leg forward, left leg back, or vice versa. We'll do both sides here. One leg over the head, the other one down, so inverted splits. But again, gravity is doing the work for you. And then come back to the wide stance. See if you can settle in again, maybe find a little more space. And then rotate the opposite leg forward and back. Splits on this side. And then slowly come back to center. And then bring the legs back to center. One foot comes down, then the other. Back into bridge. Stay high on the balls of the feet so you can slide the block out. And then again, one vertebrae at a time, just melt all the way down into your mat. And feel that rest there for a moment. Notice how the lower back seems to be closer to the earth now. And then just extend the legs long to the floor. Arms down by your side, palms face up. And if you're in a lighted room, you can always use an eye pillow to block out the light. And any props you need, anything to support your lower back, like a bolster, blanket around you if you need it, if you're in a cooler room, clothes, whatever supports you. And so just to consciously relax this Annamaya kosha, this physical sheath we spend so much of our time in. This is how we experience the world until we tap into those deeper resources. Bring your awareness into your toes and for a moment squeeze your toes and your feet as much as you can. And then relax them and let them be still. And notice the difference between tension and relaxation. Now squeeze your calves as much as you can, however you're going to activate them, and then relax them and let them be still. Squeeze your thighs, engage your legs so that the kneecaps lift, squeezing the muscle to the bone, and then relax them and let them be still. Squeeze your glutes, tighten them, feel a lift in the pelvic floor. And then relax it and let it be still. Squeeze your lower abdomen. Hug the navel towards the spine. And then relax that and let that be still. Squeeze the full abdomen while you push the navel down towards the earth. So really contracting the core. And then let it be still. Squeeze your fingers and hands into fists as deeply as you can. And then relax it and let it be still. And same thing, you might need to make a fist to get to the forearms, but activate the forearms. And then let them be still. And squeeze the whole arm, biceps, triceps, and then let them be still. Scrunch your shoulders up by your ears, and then relax them down and let them be still. And now squeeze your face and your jaw and even your neck. It feels like your neck squeezing. And then let it be still. And then feel your eyes sink towards the back of your head, your tongue relax into your mouth. And the whole body, one more time, we're going to squeeze everything we can. Everything squeezes. And then just relax and let it be still. And soften into the relaxation. So very slowly begin to deepen your breath. And as the breath comes back in, just notice its smooth quality, the mind in a calm state. And then just gently run your thumb across your fingertips and start to wiggle your toes. And rolling your wrists and your ankles. Gently draw your knees to your chest. And then just curl into fetal position for a moment. Arm under the head as a pillow. Spine settled. And placing your hand into the air, slowly come back up. Head and neck heavy. Eyes closed as you come up. And if you'd like, prop your sit bones up for a few moments of meditation. Comfortable seated position is fine. So tall spine, relaxed body. And even though we talk about these koshas as individual sheaths or layers to our experience, when they're harmonious, there's a deep feeling or sense of integration. So take a moment to feel the integration between the body, the breath or the energy, and the mind. Notice how working on one affects the whole. And then take a moment to pose a question to the higher mind. For when the mind itself, the sensory mind, is stable, we get to access the deeper knowing within us, the higher mind or the discerning mind. So just for a moment, I'd like you to ask the question, what brings me the greatest joy? And just wait for an answer. And watch the difference between the sensory mind responding and the deeper knowing. What brings me the greatest joy? And then once you have a sense of it, in your mind's eye, begin to visualize it. See it as clearly as you can. And then feel your whole body, mind, energy, spirit responding to that with joy resonating in every single cell.
And let go of the image and just hold the feeling. And then relax all effort. And slowly deepen your breath. And lower your chin towards your heart and bring your hands there. The prayer position or Anjali Mudra. And go back to the intention at the beginning of the practice to work through these layers, particularly the first three, so that we can get to the more subtle layers of mind, the higher mind, and the bliss sheath, to be in that state of pure contentedness, peace, and joy, which is our birthright. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this practice, and please like the video and subscribe to the channel and share it with your family and friends. In the description is a link to my Patreon account. I appreciate any donation that you can offer to keep these classes coming. Namaste.